Robin Hood, retold by H.Q. Mitchell. One sunny day, young Robin of Locksley was on his way to Nottingham town to take part in a shooting competition. Robin was an excellent archer, and he wanted to win the competition because the first prize was a purse full of gold. As he was walking through Sherwood Forest, Robin saw a group of foresters eating and drinking. Forester: "Hello, young man. Where are you going on this fine day?" Robin told the foresters that he was going to the shooting competition in Nottingham town. The foresters laughed. Forester: "Ha ha! You're too young to be playing with bows and arrows, boy. I know. Let's make a little bet. I am going to choose a target, and if you can shoot it, we'll give you 50 silver coins. Are you interested?" Robin: "Of course. Choose the target." Forester: "Do you see those deer over there? Shoot one of them." The forester was pointing at the king's deer, but Robin did not know that they belonged to the king. He took aim and shot one of the deer. The animal fell dead, and the foresters jumped to their feet. Forester: "You have killed one of the king's deer. You shouldn't. That's illegal. Now we'll have to put you up in jail." Robin: "But you told me to shoot the deer." Forester: "Get him, men! Don't let him get away." Robin ran into the forest, and the foresters chased him until he disappeared. Finally, he stopped running and sat down on a log to think. Robin was very sad. He thought about his home and about Marianne, the girl he loved. "If the king finds out what I have done, he'll put me in jail. Or worse, I can never go back home again. I can never see Marianne again. The forest will be my home now." Just then, Robin heard a noise in the bushes behind him. He turned around and saw two young men staring at him. Robin jumped up. He raised his bow and arrow and took aim. Robin: "Who are you?" "Midge." "Don't worry, friend. We won't hurt you. My name is Midge, and this is Will Scarlet. What's your name?" Robin: "My name is Robin of Locksley. What are you doing here?" The two young men told Robin that they were hiding in the forest. They too were outlaws, and they were afraid of the king. Midge: "We kill animals to eat and chop down wood to make fires. But if the king finds out, he will send the sheriff to arrest us and hang us." Will: "And the nobles, the rich men, force us to pay them lots of money for food and for our houses. We haven't got enough money, so we have to hide here in the forest. You see, if we don't pay, they'll put us in jail." Robin listened to Midge and Will speak. And he became very angry. The rich man's laws were unfair, and Robin wanted to help the poor. He decided to stay with Midge and Will in the forest, and soon more men joined the group of outlaws. They chose Robin as their leader, and they called themselves the Merry Men. The Merry Men called Robin Robin Hood. Robin: "From now on, we will take money from the nobles who steal from the poor, and we will give it back to the poor. They need it more." Merry Men: "Hooray for Robin Hood!" Years passed and Robin and his merry men became famous throughout the land. The poor people loved Robin. He was their hero because he gave them food and money. But the greedy nobles hated him, and they were scared to go into the forest because Robin often took their money, so they asked the sheriff of Nottingham to arrest him. The sheriff hated Robin Hood too. He tried to catch him many times, but he never succeeded. Sheriff, one day I will get Robin Hood. I will get him even if it's the last thing I do. One day, Robin was walking in the forest when he saw a butcher who was on his way to the market with a cart full of meat. He stopped the butcher and asked him how much his cart of meat cost. The butcher asked for 10 gold coins. Robin paid him 20 gold coins, and the butcher was very pleased. Butcher, thank you, Robin Hood. You are a good man. Robin Hood, one more thing, sir. Will you give me your apron and your hat for a gold coin? Butcher, of course. Robin, dressed as a butcher, took the cart full of meat to the butcher's square at the Nottingham town market. Robin was friendly and cheerful, and he was a much better salesman than the other butchers. His meat was also cheaper than the other butchers because he wanted poor people to buy it. Robin sold all his meat quickly. Then one of the butchers walked up to him. Butcher, well, friend, you have certainly done well today. Do you want to come to the Guildhall with us tonight? The sheriff is having a feast for the butchers. Robin, the sheriff, eh? Of course, I will definitely come. Robin and the butchers had a very good time at the feast. They all talked and laughed and ate lots of meat and bread. The sheriff did not recognize Robin, and he spoke to him for a very long time. Sheriff, I heard that your prices are very low. You must be a very rich man. Do you have a lot of cattle? Robin, sir, I do. My brothers and I have 510 animals. We are trying to sell them. Would you like to buy them, sir? The price is 300 gold coins. Sheriff, what? 300 gold coins? Okay, I'll buy them. Now the sheriff liked money more than any other man in England. He knew that 510 heads of cattle were worth much more than 300 gold coins. The sheriff thought that Robin was a fool. Sheriff, I'll give you the money now. Bring me the cattle tomorrow. Robin, nay, sir. I think you should come see the cattle tomorrow morning yourself. Sheriff, all right, you can sleep here tonight. We will leave early in the morning. The next morning, Robin and the sheriff set off for Sherwood Forest. Robin led the sheriff deep into the forest. Finally, Robin stopped and pointed to some of the king's deer in the distance. Robin, well, sheriff, how do you like my cattle? They are definitely worth your money. Sheriff, what? What is this? What's going on? Those aren't cattle. Robin, no, sir, they are not cattle, and I am not a butcher. I am Robin Hood. The sheriff was shocked and frightened. He tried to get away, but Robin held on to the horse's reins. Robin laughed. Then he blew on his silver bugle 3 times. Suddenly, Robin Hood's merry men appeared out of the forest. Robin, these are the merry men, Sheriff. I wanted you to meet them. Sheriff, you tricked me, Robin Hood. You lied to me. Robin, don't worry, Sheriff. You are not in danger. You invited me to eat in your home. Now you will eat with us. One of the merry men, a man named Little John, blindfolded the sheriff and then led his horse down a path to Robin Hood's secret home. When Little John took the blindfold off, the sheriff saw several men cooking meat over huge fires. The smell made him hungry. Robin, sit down, Sheriff. Do not be afraid. Ah, here's Alan Adale. He's an excellent musician. He will play and sing for us while we eat. Sheriff, thinking, I hope they don't take my money. When they finished eating, Robin asked the sheriff for the 300 gold coins. The sheriff didn't want to give Robin the money, but he was afraid of him and his merry men. He gave Robin his purse and Robin was very pleased. Then Little John blindfolded the sheriff and led him on his horse out of the forest. Little John: "Thank you for your gold coins, Sheriff. You are a very generous man." Sheriff thinking, "I will get them all for this. I will arrest Robin and his merry men and hang them." A month later, the sheriff thought of a plan to trap Robin Hood. He knew that Robin Hood was the best archer in the land, so he decided to hold a shooting competition in Nottingham town. The sheriff sent his messengers north and south, east and west, to tell everyone about the competition. "Sheriff, tell them that the prize is going to be a beautiful arrow made of pure gold. Make sure Robin Hood hears about the competition." Robin Hood did, of course, hear about the competition. He was very excited, but his merry men were not. David: "But Robin, I heard that the competition is a trap. The sheriff wants to put us all in jail." Robin: "I know that, David. That is why we are all going to go in disguise. We will dress like peasants and beggars, and we will use berries to change the color of our hair and beards. The sheriff won't recognize us." On the day of the competition, Robin and some of his merry men made their way to the Nottingham town fairground. The fairground was full of people, including, of course, the sheriff. The competition began, and Robin Hood shot very well. Everyone clapped and cheered. Sheriff thinking, "He shoots like Robin Hood, but he looks like a beggar. I cannot arrest him. If he is not Robin Hood, everyone will think I'm a fool." Robin won the competition, and the sheriff gave him the prize. Then Robin and his merry men returned to Sherwood Forest. Robin decided to send the sheriff a message to thank him. That night, as the sheriff was having his dinner, an arrow with a letter on it flew in through his window. The sheriff opened it. Sheriff: "Dear Sheriff of Nottingham, thank you for the wonderful prize. I really like my new golden arrow, Robin Hood." "What? I don't believe this. Not again, not again." Robin did not know that the girl he loved, Marian, was one of the Queen's servants. She was in fact the Queen's lady in waiting. Marian knew that Robin was a good man and that he helped poor people. When she heard that he won the shooting competition, she decided to speak to the Queen about him. Marian: "Your Majesty, Robin Hood is a good man, but the sheriff hates him. He wants to hang him. You must help Robin, Your Majesty, because I love him." Queen: "All right then. Bring Robin Hood to me. I want to speak to him." Marian: "Thank you, Your Majesty." The next day, Robin saw a young man walking through the forest. He was wearing beautiful clothes made of silk and velvet and a big hat, which covered half of his face. He looked pale and thin. Robin held his sword in his hand and walked towards the young man. Young man: "Is that you, Robin Hood?" Robin: "Who are you? Did the sheriff send you?" Robin Hood moved closer to the young man. Then he used his sword to take off the young man's hat. Robin was shocked. The young man was not a young man at all. It was Maid Marian, in disguise. Marian told Robin that she dressed up as a man because she did not want anyone to recognize her. She also said that she had an important message for him from the Queen. Robin: "Marian, I can't believe that you are here." Marian: "It's so good to see you again, Robin. I have an important message. Queen Eleanor wants you to come to London town immediately." And so Robin Hood, Marian, and 3 of Robin Hood's merry men, Little John, Will Scarlet, and Alan Dale, went to London town to meet the Queen. The Queen welcomed them and gave them a big, delicious meal to eat. Then she asked Robin for a favor. Queen: "Robin, the king's shooting competition is tomorrow. Marian told me that you and your men are excellent archers. I think that it'll be a more interesting competition if you and your men take part in it. Will you do that for me? Then I can talk to the king about you and make him give you your freedom. Robin, thank you, your majesty. We would be proud to shoot for you. The next day, King Henry and Queen Eleanor watched as the king's best archers arrived to take part in the competition. The queen asked the king for a favor. Queen, I know 4 archers that are much better than your archers. If they win in the competition, will you give them their freedom? Will you tell the sheriff of Nottingham to leave them in peace? King, ha ha! My archers are the best in the land. No one can beat them. But, all right, if your archers win, I will give them 40 days of freedom. The queen whispered something to Marian. A few minutes later, 4 men dressed in green walked onto the field. The sheriff recognized them immediately. He jumped out of his chair and started shouting, Sheriff, it's Robin Hood! It's Robin Hood and his men! Arrest them! King, quiet, Sheriff! Is this true, Eleanor? Is that Robin Hood the outlaw? Queen, yes, it is Robin Hood, but remember your promise, Henry. 40 days of freedom if they win. The king's archers were very good. They all hit their targets. Then Robin and his merry men took their turn. Robin shot 3 arrows at once, and they all hit the center of the target. Everyone cheered. Robin and his men won the competition. They won 50 gold coins, a bugle, and 40 days of freedom. King, the queen was right. You are the best archers in the land. You have your freedom, but only for 40 days. After that, the sheriff will arrest you. Robin, yes, your majesty. Thank you for the prizes. We will keep the bugle, but we do not need the gold coins. Please give them to your archers. They were very good. Everyone cheered and clapped again for Robin Hood and his merry men. Then Robin, Will, Little John, and Alan returned to Sherwood Forest, and this time Marian went with them. The merry men enjoyed 40 days of freedom, and they visited towns all over England. The people welcomed them everywhere they went. There was a wedding in the middle of Sherwood Forest. Robin and Marian were married. Merrymen, hooray for Robin and Marian! Hooray! The years passed and King Henry died. King Richard became the new king. He was a very brave man, and he won many wars for England. King Richard heard about Robin Hood and decided to visit Sherwood Forest to meet him. So, one day, the king and some of his men took their horses and went to the forest. They were disguised as friars because the king did not want anyone to recognize them. King Richard, now stay here until I whistle for you. Soldier, but, Your Majesty, we can't leave you. King Richard, it's all right. I want to carry on alone. The king went deeper into the forest. Suddenly, he heard a sound. He turned around and saw a stranger on horseback. It was Will Scarlet. The king told the stranger that he was lost and hungry. Then the stranger blew on his bugle 3 times and a group of merry men appeared. Robin, Friar, we will help you. We will give you some food, but you must give us your money. We'll give the money to the poor. What is your name? King Richard, Father Richard, are you Robin Hood? Robin, I am indeed. The king gave Robin Hood his purse. There were 100 gold coins in it. Robin took half the coins and gave the other half back to the king. Robin, I am not a greedy man. The money I've taken is for the poor. Now let's feast. King Richard, I have a favor to ask you. There are 6 other friars waiting for me in the forest. They are also hungry and tired. Can they join us? Robin, of course they can. At the feast, Robin and his merry men talked about the good things that they did for the poor, and they talked about King Richard. They all agreed that he was a brave king, and they said that they would fight for him and die for him if they had to. At the end of the meal, the king took off his hood. Robin and his men were shocked to see King Richard standing in front of them. They all jumped to their feet and bowed. King Richard: "It is good to finally meet you all. I see now that you are not outlaws. You are kind and honest men. You are all pardoned. You are free to live your lives in peace." Robin and Merriman: "Hooray! Long live the king! Long live King Richard!" And that's the story of Robin Hood and his merry men. The end. If you like this kind of videos, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Leave a comment below telling us which story you want to hear next. See you next time. Bye!